Hello beautiful souls, and welcome to my channel Roseology. This is a very exciting and fun video I'm glad I got to film today because this pick a card is the third or fourth video in a series here on my channel where I bridge together tarot and astrology to help break down the energy created by your personal birth chart, also known as a natal chart. So this pick a card is all about Jupiter and the place in the sky that Jupiter was in at the moment that you were born. So this makes up a part of your energetic thumbprint and who you are today. And because Jupiter just made a huge transit into the sign or the constellation of Capricorn and will be there for all of 2020, I think it's really important that we take a look at your natal Jupiter placement and how this move into Capricorn will mix with your own Jupiter energy. Okay, so before we get started, I'm going to take the time to explain Jupiter, Sagittarius, and Capricorn, the energy that they bring. So if this is something that you're not interested, please go to the description or the comment section for the timestamps to the meditation and each of the piles. Please do not sit through this entire intro and then tell me later on how long it is because you've been warned, okay? So starting off with Sagittarius, who Jupiter is the ruler of. Jupiter also rules Pisces, but we'll be dealing with Sagittarian energy. Sagittarius is the archer, and he is all about potential, and Jupiter is all about resonance. These two energies pair amazingly together because Sagittarius will show you what can be / is possible, and Jupiter reveals which possibility belongs to you specifically for your very own journey. So for example, anyone could be a potential partner, but you want the right person that's meant for you, right? So these two working together, Jupiter and Sagittarius, they really help to show your divine path and destiny and what you can make of that. So another example would be anyone can be a doctor, but there's a different practice for every medical professional, right? So Jupiter and Sagittarius helps to connect you to your niche. So while you can stand in a group of your comrades, you can stand in a community, you can stand in a collective, your work, you, yourself, your personality, your energy stands out. It is unique and specific to you. It is an embodiment of you because there is only one you. Now, Capricorn, the constellation or sign that Jupiter has moved into, is much different than people think. And I actually did a pick a card on your Saturn placement and how that energy manifests in your life. I'll link that down below. I'll link all the videos that I've done bringing together tarot and astrology down below if you guys are interested in that. But Capricorn is a sign that vibrates to the tune of legacy. What can I build and leave behind that will carry on my footprint in the world? It's not always about reaching the top of the hierarchical food chain in the business industry when it comes to Capricorn. Capricorn energy applies to everything. So that legacy could be, for example, creating the family that you feel you missed out on, leaving a legacy of helping others through activism or charitable work or healing. It's all about the mark you choose to leave on the world. That's the energy of Capricorn. Think about the constellation that Capricorn follows. It follows Sagittarius, and Sagittarius connects you to your potential, and Capricorn sets up a grounded, steady plan to reach that destination, to reach that potential, to leave the ultimate mark in the world. And that's why I say Capricorn is focused on legacy. Now, that's just the general rundown of the energy Capricorn and Jupiter brings. Now, with Jupiter transiting into the sign of Capricorn, this can manifest in your life by connecting you to your legacy, because Jupiter is resonance and Capricorn is legacy. So this is the ability to feel and sense without a shadow of doubt the path of your own divine destiny. This is the life that you were born, that you were put here to pursue, because there's only one you. Capricorn shows you how that future can be a reality by practically breaking down the steps to that destination and giving you the cardinal push to achieve that and the motivation to overcome the obstacles in between you and that destiny. That's why Capricorn is the goat. He is depicted as the goat that makes it all the way to the top of the mountain by himself, because he is all about overcoming challenges, obstacles. He's all about, that's why Saturn is the bringer of karma. It is all about rising above, defeating, overcoming those lessons that Saturn brings. So the interesting thing about Jupiter moving into Capricorn is they couldn't be more opposite. Capricorn is ruled by the planet Saturn, like I've been saying. And I feel that Jupiter and Saturn are stark contrasts to each other. Jupiter is expansion and Capricorn is contraction. So while Jupiter blows everything up by expanding it, like moving a magnifying glass over an object, and Saturn is contracting or targeting a specific goal. These two energies come together to bring your dreams with a dose of realism. So it's like sprinkling some practicality over these big, wild, grandiose ideas. Okay, so a lot of people are kind of worried about or scared of Jupiter moving into Capricorn because Capricorn's an earth sign. Jupiter is more so like the fire element. But in my opinion, this is the best. Literally, like, I think this is probably one of the best transits to bring in 2020 because 2020 is going to be such a huge year. I'll be talking about that later, not on this video today. But it's such a big year to really start the next decade, to start from the 2020s to the 2030s. This is the beginning of the next decade. And we need something to really give us that fresh new energy, that fresh new push, to push us into a space where it's like, okay, this is the next thing that I'm targeting. This is the next thing that I'm focusing on. And this is how I get there. Maybe Jupiter doesn't too much like being in an earth sign, but in my opinion, this is the perfect balance that is needed. We don't need Jupiter, this really huge, expansive planet, always being in something like Sagittarius or a fire sign. We need balance. Balance is actually what gives us progress, because when something is balanced out, it can move. We don't need, too much fire energy, because that can be like top heavy and we can just top over, we can just topple over. But when we have this fire energy coming together with this earth energy, it is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful marriage. It's a harmonious marriage, in my opinion, because these are two polar opposites. Jupiter will bring opportunities or vehicles to help get you to that destiny, but not in the way that you think, because Jupiter is considered a spiritual planet. That's why he in Sagittarius is linked to spirituality, religion, higher learning, because Jupiter is faith. That's where his resonance comes from. It's a feeling, not something you can see, hear, feel, or touch, but it's something you feel in your spirit and you know it to be true because of faith only. You can't rely on the five senses when it comes to Jupiter. So people consider him to be a bringer of luck because Jupiter creates opportunities, but Jupiter creates those opportunities by bringing an abundance of faith into our lives. That's why it's so easy to manifest under the influence of Jupiter, because Jupiter puts us on a higher vibration of faith, where we see that anything is possible. When we believe in something, we become so much more powerful. And the fact that Jupiter is all about believing in something, resonating, faith, this is connecting us to that life that we thought was impossible. But Capricorn is helping to keep us grounded and rooted in the fact that we need a practical, stable plan to get there. This is why Jupiter is considered the bringer of luck, not just because he brings opportunities. He brings opportunities because he raises our vibration to a place where we believe in the impossible. So when we believe or have unwavering faith, we can achieve what we labeled impossible. With Jupiter enveloping practical Capricorn with a multitude of faith, he is constructing this bridge that's easy for us to see, to understand, to digest. And because of that, it's easy for us to believe in our biggest dreams and plans. In short, it's easy for us to have faith in ourselves. So we're going to be seeing today not only how this Jupiter transit into Capricorn will be manifesting in your life, but we'll also be checking out your natal Jupiter and how that energy looks in your life. Okay, but before we get to your reading, let me just say, like I always do, that this is a general reading for the collective. So in order for this reading to speak to you individually, you need to be synced into the energy of this reading. To help you do that, and to help you select a pile here with your third eye instead of your physical eyes, I will be including a 60-second meditation. 30 seconds into that meditation, I'll be placing crystals for those of you that like to pick piles with objects on them. If you are drawn to another pile after these crystals have been placed, that's because there's another message for you in that pile. So if you'd like to participate in this meditation, get into a relaxed position, become aware of your entire body, starting with your feet and working that awareness up in sections from the feet to the head. Then take a deep breath in through your nose for around 5 seconds. Hold that breath for 3 seconds. Then exhale for 6 to 7 seconds. Once you've done this a few times, you should be ready for that meditation. This is pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, pile 4, pile 5, and pile 6. And we'll start that right now. All right, I've placed some crystals in each pile here. Here in pile 1 is honey calcite. Here in pile 2, amazonite. Here in pile 3, carnelian. Here in pile 4, sodalite. Here in pile 5, green calcite. And here in pile 6, aragonite. I'll give you guys another 30 seconds to meditate with each of the crystals on the piles. All right, hopefully that meditation was enough time for you to pick a pile and to tap into your own psychic awareness. I want to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, and beautiful spirit itself for delivering these amazing messages today. Now let's check out how Jupiter will be manifesting in your life. All right, in pile number 1, welcome to your reading. So we'll be starting off with the tarot cards first before moving on to the oracle card. So this will be showing me the energy of your Jupiter placement at the time that you were born and how it sort of impacts your life today. So let's go ahead and take a look. And we have the 3 of Swords. All right, I just wanted to zoom in a little bit for you guys. So starting off with the 3 of Swords here, the energy that your natal Jupiter brings into your life for my pile 1s here is painful or difficult lessons. But I have to be honest right now and say most of it has honestly kind of been because of you being hard-headed and moving forward while ignoring the red flags and the signs that Jupiter was trying to give you. This feels to me like Jupiter and Capricorn for sure. Like already this feels very much like the energy of Jupiter and Capricorn. I don't know why, but it does. So that could mean Jupiter in your 10th house. Jupiter could be sitting close to Saturn, or they could be in the same house, or it could be neither of those things. It's just what I'm sensing here energetically. So your Jupiter could also be in Scorpio or the 8th house, or Virgo, which would be the 6th house. That's the energy that I'm picking up on. Something about this feels very karmic though, because Jupiter brings lessons and wisdom. Lessons are experiences that have evolved into wisdom. But if we do not learn from those lessons, Jupiter will bring that same energy back into our lives, but in an overwhelming sense because of how grandiose he is. But there's something about this that feels very karmic, where he's like, you didn't learn this lesson or you didn't take this seriously. So he's coming back around with this very Saturn-like energy to hopefully break you down. Your natal Jupiter is trying to break you down so you are more open to taking his advice and applying that in your life. The really good thing about my pile 1's natal Jupiter is he's going really hard at you guys because he wants to give you so much, but you can't receive if you don't learn. That's the most important thing here is like, for instance, if you keep falling for the same toxic people or environments or relationships, then how can Jupiter bless you with peace, abundance, contentment, and prosperity? You cannot be prosperous in a toxic environment. One of them is going to give in eventually, and either you will lift the vibration of everything around you or those lower vibrations will swallow you. Energy is committed to harmonizing. So it's always trying to match its own vibration to its external environments. Okay. So, like I was saying, something about this feels very karmic. Something about this feels like a lot of pressure about you needing to really seriously learn something. And whatever it is, I guarantee you it's a certain cycle or a pattern in your life that you've experienced plenty of times before, or you are starting to notice it and say like, this looks familiar, this feels familiar, this sounds familiar. I've been through this before. I already know what's going to happen. I already know how this is going to play out. Whatever that is in your life, whatever that pattern is in your life, that is what your natal Jupiter is trying to get you to see, is trying to get you to become more mindful of, and he wants to teach you so that the way you become aware of it and you stop making the same choices that end you up in the same outcomes, basically. Let's go ahead and check out these 2 cards here. These 2 cards will be showing me how the energy of Jupiter transiting into Capricorn may manifest in your life. And basically, this is going to show me how the energy with Jupiter moving into Capricorn is merging with your own natal Jupiter energy and what sort of energy that's going to produce in your life, okay? And the very first card that we have here is the Queen of Cups in reverse and shadow work. Exactly. So this shadow work is karma from a past life or from past decisions, and these mistakes are coming back to collect, but not in a way to stop you. The past repeats itself unless we claim control over our own narrative, because time is infinite. It's a big loop. That means that time mirrors itself. That's what a cycle is, and these are patterns that we feel powerless to or caught up in. So your past always comes back until we write a different present by making different choices and decisions. Our actions have to change for our present circumstances to change. When we do that, we break away from that, what I call this gravitational force of the past. We finally break out of it by doing different things, because when we know better, we do better, right? At least that's what it's supposed to be. So I see that this Jupiter transit into Capricorn, giving my pile ones a major opportunity to clear the past by learning from it. He's going to revisit you in a way where these familiar emotions, experiences, and lessons occur, or where you cannot escape your past because it's always around. You're always thinking about it or feeling it or being triggered by it in some way, shape, or form. This is Jupiter saying to embrace it and to learn from it so we can get going to where we are trying to go. But he has to get your attention first. That's all a pattern is. It's a way for the universe to knock us into awareness where we stop and hopefully ask, why does this keep happening? Something is going on here. And when that happens, awareness seeps in. And when awareness starts to seep in, power, control, and change is a gift that comes with that awareness. So Queen of Cups, you're revisiting old scenarios, and it will probably be emotionally triggering for you, but you are definitely healing. Soul work, you are healing more than just your past. You're also healing your soul. Okay, so this is very this is very deep internal work, or whatever situation, whatever pattern you seem to be sort of caught up in. It runs deep. It runs very deep internally within the makeup of you. This is something that has sort of been written or rewired into your soul, into your own being. And this is why this is sort of like a pattern that you kind of keep feeling like, why does this keep happening? Why do I keep going through this? This seems like this always happens. Even if it's a good thing, it doesn't always have to be, necessarily like a bad thing. Even if it's a good thing, it could be like a good thing. Like I keep meeting the same sort of people, or I keep coming across the same sort of like opportunities or possibilities, or, whatever the case, experiences. So they don't necessarily have to be a bad thing, but it's just, whatever sort of pattern you find yourself sort of caught up in or re-experiencing over and over and over again, it runs very, very deep within your psyche, within your consciousness, within your soul, within your energy. It's almost like a part of you. So you changing this thing, if you are unhappy with it, it really comes down to something very simple. Are you happy or not? If you are not, then find ways to integrate change. Okay, because that's all it really comes down to, is if you're happy. We make life so complex. Well, it's because of this, and well, it's because of that, and this happened because of this, that, and the third. But when you really break it down, are you happy? And if not, then make those small decisions that end up changing that for you, so that the way you can become more comfortable, so that the way this doesn't feel so awkward or inconvenient or painful, but it feels more in alignment with you and where it is that you want to go. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out your oracle card here. And we have the card Beauty. I have a form which is divine. I allow what is within to shine. That's interesting. It says, I allow what is within to shine. This is why you are doing that soul work, pile one. This is why Jupiter is bringing the gift of a chance to conduct some deep soul healing, because what is within you is what is creating your environment and your reality and your world and your relationships. And that's what is directly affecting your happiness. Your environment is what is within you. Your external is what is within you. It's not your fault the things that others have decided to do. But what we do have to be accountable for is how that influences the life we live. No one is responsible for the way that our life looks but us. That's a divine gift that needs to be very protected. And sometimes we drop the ball on protecting our interests in life and our heart and ourselves. I know I did for much of my life, but you have to realize that you are the gatekeeper to what your life reflects. You are the gatekeeper to the reality that you live. You are the gatekeeper to your environment. So what do you want that to be? It's very important to accept that accountability, to accept that responsibility. Many of us don't want to. Many of us like to kind of almost say, well, this happened because of this and this happened because of that. There was something external here that happened. Many of us kind of like to pass on that responsibility just to some other source, when in reality, what happens in our environment is up to us. Like I said, others' actions have nothing to do with us in our decisions. It's not something that we manifest or we attract, but we do attract and manifest a certain type of energy in our life, because what it is that you vibrate on is what you emulate. That's what you put out. And like I said in the beginning of this reading, energy is committed to harmonizing. So what it is that you put out is what is going to be drawn in or attracted to you, because energy is committed to harmonizing like magnets. They're going to come together or they're going to repel. Okay, so it's really important and it's 12:34 right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Interesting. But it's very important for my pile ones to really be aware of the fact that a lot of what is going on in your environment comes from this source. It comes from a source that lives within you. A lot of what goes on in your environment, not everything, but a lot of what happens in your environment is something that you are responsible for. So if you really want to change this outer reality, you have to start changing the internal reality. You have to start changing the actions and the decisions that you make. It's the small actions, it's the small decisions, it's the small choices, it's the mundane choices that we make every single day that become the life that we live. Choices form into habits, habits form into lifestyles, lifestyles form into patterns, okay? Where is this environment stemming from? It has a root. So let me follow that trail back to that root. Because the interesting thing here is this card says beauty. So Jupiter, your Jupiter, your natal Jupiter, and Jupiter moving into the sign of Capricorn, the way that that's going to be merging with your natal Jupiter, with the energy of your natal Jupiter, is he really wants to bless you with beauty in your life. He really wants to bless you with beauty in your life. But first you have to clean out the stench of the past. The hard parts of the past, the tainted parts of the past. You have to deal with those. You have to process them. And that is what is happening here. There's a lot of healing for my pile ones. And I think that the word healing can be very misconstrued a lot of the times, because we kind of think that like healing is sort of this thing that sort of washes over us. And it's like, oh my goodness, I'm healed, And it's not, it's a process. We should honestly change that word to processing. The word healing should be changed to processing, because it is a process. And I don't know that we ever actually reach the finish line of healing. I think we just learn to better cope with things, and we learn to live without these things influencing or manipulating or directly affecting the life it is that we choose to live, because we choose to take control over our lives. As we choose to take that power from our past, we take the power from our pain and we put it back into our own hands to inflict the change it is that we want to see, because he wants to bless you with beauty. You've been very used to the opposite of beauty with this 3 of Swords. All right, pile one. So let me go on ahead and shuffle some cards here. Let me make sure I'm zoomed out so you guys can see the shuffle. So let me go ahead and shuffle some cards here to see what else it is that your Jupiter has to say. So give me a second here. And it's actually 4:44 right now, so let's go on ahead and take a look. All right, the 3 cards that we have here, look at this. Fulfillment of wishes. Temptation, which is the Devil card in reverse. Beautiful. I'm so excited for you guys. Then we have financial and material changes. Beautiful. This is amazing. And the card that we have under the deck here is transformation. How amazing. How amazing. You guys are definitely being transformed. You are being released of these old sort of dependencies and the clutches that this energy had you in. You're being released. You're being freed, transformed. Financial, material changes, and fulfillment of wishes. This beauty. This is Jupiter's trying to bless you with this beauty. He's trying to bless you with transformation, financial, material changes. And this was actually in reverse. And I believe that this is the 5 of coins, I think, the 5 of pentacles. But this was actually in reverse, which is a really good sign. And this card is in reverse. Another good sign. Fulfillment of wishes. Amazing sign. Transformation. That's always what it is that we're asking for. And transformation, this is the card of death in tarot, which is amazing. There's so much beauty and blessing, beauty that comes with transformation, with the ending of things. So I'm going to go on ahead and leave you guys with the cards here. Normally I don't do this. Normally I only do this in my new and full moon videos, but it feels very appropriate for this particular reading. I'm going to leave you guys with the cards here to divine your own message, what it is that Jupiter, because this is your Jupiter, this is your energy, you know, so I'm going to leave you guys with this energy to divine your own messages. But thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I pray this reading brought you guys some love, support, clarity, and strength. I want to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, and beautiful spirit itself for delivering such a beautiful message today. Hopefully you all come back to visit me sometime soon, but until next time, you guys stay safe, stay blessed, keep conquering the world, and I'll be back later, all right? Bye, guys. All right, and pile number 2, welcome to your reading. So we'll be starting off with the tarot cards first. This tarot card here will be showing me the energy that your natal Jupiter brings into your life, how it manifests in your life. And this tarot card here will be showing me the energy that this Jupiter transit into the sign of Capricorn will be bringing into your life. And the oracle card will sort of be a culmination of this like overall energy. So let's go on ahead and start off with this tarot card here. And the card that we have is the Hanged One, otherwise known as the Hanged Man, in reverse. Okay, so your natal Jupiter, my pile twos, has come to expand not just your awareness, but your sense of capability and potential, because Jupiter rules Sagittarius. And I talk a lot about how the Archer Sagittarius is all about potential. Your natal Jupiter has come to show you what you can and cannot do. So your Jupiter placement is much different than whatever placement you had in a past life or in the past. This is completely new to you, this way of being. So for instance, in your past or your past life, you may have led more with maybe masculine energy, which is very assertive, proactive, bold, while in this life, your Jupiter may encourage you to go the exact opposite direction and lead more with divine feminine energy, the energy that attracts, draws in, seduces. So that was just an example, okay? It's just an example. It's not, I'm not saying that I'm saying this, but whatever your Jupiter placement is now, it's the reason that you feel like nothing works for you, because you are doing what feels natural, and it's not about what feels easiest or comfortable or instinctive for you this life. My pile twos, it's all about going completely against everything that makes you feel comfortable. Some of you got accustomed to going against the grain, and now it's time to go with the flow, and vice versa. So if you got comfortable with going with the flow, now it's time for you to go against the grain. So your natal Jupiter has come to expand your outlook on things, where you have to really rely on faith versus action, or collaboration versus independence. Like whatever comes naturally to you is what Jupiter wants you to do the opposite of. So this feels like some heavy Uranus sort of energy. So your Jupiter could be in the sign of Aquarius or Leo or Pisces, and that is the 11th, 5th, or 12th houses. Another thing I want to point out here is, do you see how even though this card is in reverse, it looks right, or it looks normal? Your natal Jupiter is really trying to get my pile twos back on track. If you feel like you've been hitting a lot of dead ends or repeating a lot of cycles or always running into a wall or just can't seem to get off the ground or to get going, it's because Jupiter is like this fortress for my pile twos. He's like Fort Knox, like this impenetrable wall, and he's standing in between you and your progress, or you and what you want, because he's saying you're doing it the wrong way. It's supposed to be like this. That's what Jupiter's trying to get you to do. He's trying to get you to flip around your perspective, even though it doesn't look right. Upside down, this card actually looks more normal. Let me hold it up so you guys can see this. But as you can see, upside down, this card looks more normal than right side up. There we go. Got to get my camera to focus. You know, you could be dangling a flower, but why would you be doing that? This looks more normal. Upside down looks better, but it's not correct. So what is correct for my pile twos won't look right. What's correct for you won't feel right. It won't sound right. And when I say right, I mean natural. So it won't look natural, won't feel natural, it won't sound natural. Jupiter to you won't come off as jubilant and good vibes with a lot of gifts. He'll feel like this. He'll feel unnatural. He'll feel scary, inconvenient, uncomfortable, but it's only because of your perspective. Once you flip around and match Jupiter's vibe, you'll be able to get going and those hardships will disappear. But you have to do what feels unnatural, not evil or wrong, but foreign, alien. That's what I mean. So it's not about necessarily being wrong or evil or not right. It's just not going to feel natural. It won't feel instinctive. All right, so let's go ahead and see what this Jupiter into the sign of Capricorn is doing for your life here. And we have Justice in reverse. Yeah. My pile twos, you're really going to want to take heed to Jupiter and what he's been trying to teach you all along. Because if not, Jupiter transiting into Capricorn is going to feel abrasive to you. Because Capricorn runs off of the fuel of the planet Saturn. And Saturn is all about karma, receiving what it is that we have given, reaping what we've sown. And if you don't allow yourself to give into Jupiter's wisdom, then this Capricorn transit will feel hopeless because you won't be able to understand it. It will bring feelings of despair because it's like, I don't know why this is happening. I don't know what I did to warrant this outcome. I don't understand why this or that happened because you were looking the wrong way and in the wrong direction. And this transit will only pile on more confusion because that's what Capricorn brings. He brings karma. He brings you get what you give. But he also usually comes with a warning or an explanation. From what I'm seeing here, there won't be that. There will be no warning or explanation if you do not allow Jupiter to expand your awareness. And you do that by staying open mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to lessons, experiences, people, principles, and understandings, by not thinking that you have it figured out, by not thinking that you know the answers, but by remaining humble and open to accepting Jupiter's lessons. Because if not, you won't understand this transit. It's like you missed the first step. So by the time you get here, it's very confusing. Like, how can you understand calculus if algebra didn't make sense? You know what I mean? And that's kind of the case. Like natal Jupiter, your natal Jupiter, you were already born with the sense of like, Jupiter really pressuring you to understand things and to look at things differently, to look at things from the opposite end of the spectrum. Jupiter wanted to pull you to the polar opposite side of what it is that you got accustomed to when you were born. And so with this Jupiter moving into the sign of Capricorn, it's going to feel even more confusing if you have not learned how to expand your perspective or how to flip your perspective or how to see things from the other side. Okay, so if you haven't learned how to see things from a completely fresh and new perspective, if you have formed a very rigid way of thinking and looking at things and perceiving things, then your optics are already off. And by the time this transit comes, it's going to feel even more abrasive, even more confusing. It's like you're just going to keep sort of digging that hole of confusion. Like, what the hell is happening here? What is going on here? You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and check out you guys' oracle card here. See what else it is that we have going on. And we have the card prosperity. As this tree grows so strong, so fine, so may I prosper from the universal divine. You guys, you're missing out on something huge. I told you. What did I tell you? I told you Jupiter is like Fort Knox standing in between you and your blessings. He wants to give my pile 2 so much, but you have to loosen up on that rigidity, on that stubbornness. Your Jupiter may also be in Taurus as well, which would be the second house. And the second house is kind of about prosperity, actually. It's about values. It's about the things it is that we value in this life. So that could be finances, it could be relationships, love, whatever the case. You know, because the stubbornness coming through this pile feels like me. It feels just like me, honestly. I'm a Taurus sun, Leo moon, Cap rising, and I feel like this pile is talking to me so clearly. Stop thinking that you have it figured out. Even when you surpass certain lessons and learn from them and evolve, it doesn't mean that you've figured it all out. It just simply means you've passed. Like passing 10th grade doesn't mean that you've graduated, right? Like you just succeeded at one level, but there's so much more to learn. You have to be open to learning. You have to be open to what Jupiter is trying to give you. Maybe you want prosperity, right? And you might have an idea about how you obtain that. Jupiter is trying to get you to open your mind and open eyes to other avenues and routes to obtaining this prosperity, because this prosperity is meant for you. It just might not come through that one career or job or project or person or lifestyle. It may be something that you are so not open to, but either way, just like this Hanged Man in reverse, he's trying to give you a rose. He's been trying, and you've been resisting him by saying, I want it to come by this way, or I want it to look like this or feel like that. I want to take this route to get to my prosperity. I want to take this route to get to my destination, when there are several routes, but there's only one that is meant for you. So if you were trying to claim a route that has not claimed you, you're claiming a route with a dead end, because you're not going to get anywhere, because there needs to be commitment on both ends. You need to be committed to a route that is committing to you. And if that avenue, if that journey, if that pathway has not chosen you, then you are walking down a path that has a dead end. You will never get to your destination. So what is so bad about going in a different avenue? Just be more open to it. Don't resist Jupiter. Don't resist his wisdom. Don't resist his path that he's trying to give you to lead you to your prosperity. It's not necessarily always about us choosing and picking the direction that we go in. Like we say all the time, I can't leave this job because I've been here for X amount of years. I can't leave this person. They've known me for this long. I can't walk away from this project because I'm supposed to win the Nobel Peace Prize. You're still going to receive this flower, this prosperity, this Nobel Peace Prize. You're still going to receive this job. You're still going to receive that relationship, that affection, that love. It's the way, you're still going to receive this rose. But it's the way that this flower comes into your life is what you're reluctant to accept. So open yourself up, because you're being stubborn. And so is Jupiter. And so there's like this standoff between you guys. Both of you guys are standing with your arms crossed, just staring at each other. There's like this standoff between you and Jupiter. But Jupiter can see your future. And Jupiter is serving your greatest and highest good. We don't have all of those answers or those steps laid out for us. So trust in something more than yourself that does have those answers, that does have access to what those steps are. Be more open to it. Okay? And let me go on ahead. I'm just going to go on ahead and flip a few cards on camera, or not a few cards, maybe like one or two cards, just to see what comes out here, to see if your Jupiter has anything else to say to my pile two. So let me go on ahead and see. The throat chakra. Some of you may be working on the throat chakra, expressing your truth, and emotional withdrawal. Emotional withdrawal. This is the Eight of Cups. Yeah. You need to walk away from something that that you really want. You really have your eyes, your sights set on something, because this is the Eight of Cups, emotional withdrawal. And you really have, my pile twos, you guys really have your sights set on something, and you really have an idea about how that thing is supposed to come into fruition. And it's a little painful for you guys to walk away from that avenue. It's a little bit painful because you guys wanted it to come in that one way so strongly. But you have to really open yourself up to these different ways in the throat chakra. Some of you guys may be, involved in some sort of a public, like a job in the public. I don't know why, but business keeps coming in for this pile two for me. Like business just keeps coming in. There's something about business coming in. And under the deck here, we have accelerated motion. Look at that. Accelerated motion. This is the Eight of Wands. If you were to just sort of flip your perspective, things would move so much quicker. If you were to just flip your perspective, things would move so much easier and quicker in one direction. Things would move so much faster and easier for you. Eight of Wands, Eight of Cups, and the throat chakra here. If you were to just flip your perspective and choose a different bullseye, choose a different target to go after, flipping your perspective, allowing Jupiter to come in and show you a different perspective, to show you a different avenue, things would move so much faster. Accelerated motion, you guys. And like I said at the very beginning of this reading, many of you are feeling like nothing ever works out for you, or like you're just so stuck. you're walking down a dead end, because Jupiter is Fort Knox right now. So to get past Fort Knox, you have got to change your perspective, okay? And this is all that I'm seeing for my pile twos. I'll leave you guys with the cards to go on ahead and come up with your own interpretations. I normally don't do this for my tarot readings, but I feel like it's really important for this particular reading. So yeah, thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I pray this reading brought you guys some love, support, clarity, and strength. I want to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, and beautiful spirit itself for delivering such an awesome message today. Hopefully you all come back to visit me sometime soon. But until next time, you guys stay safe, stay blessed, keep conquering the world, and I'll be back later, all right? Bye, guys. All right, in pile number 3, welcome to your reading. So we'll be starting off with these 2 tarot cards here first, and these 2 tarot cards will be showing me the energy that your natal Jupiter placement produces in your life. And this card over here will be showing me how this Jupiter moving into the sign of Capricorn will be influencing your natal Jupiter energy and what energy this transit will be bringing into your life, okay? So let's go ahead and start with these 2 tarot cards first, and we have here the 3 of Cups and the Seeker of Cups. And the Seeker of Cups is the Page of Cups. So your natal Jupiter, my pile 3s, makes you very fun and inquisitive and curious and exciting. My pile 3s, you guys are the group that feels very like fun, kind of like a one-person party sort of deal. You may be outgoing, make people laugh a lot. You may love to laugh a lot. Right away, this feels like Jupiter in Sagittarius, Leo, maybe Cancer, and that is the 9th, 5th, and 4th houses. So right away, you guys seem to me like you hold great conversation, you engage people, you really know how to bring people out of their comfort zone. Some of you may even be like an open book sort of person, just living pretty unapologetic. So it seems like a lot of my pile 3's knowledge comes from your peers, society, conversation, engaging your mind, travel, experiencing different cultures and traditions. So some of you can be very free-spirited. Connection feels like everything to my pile 3's. Like you guys just want to connect on a deep level to everything that attracts you or draws you in or interests you. You like to hear people out and hear their stories because you are such a knowledge seeker. You are the type of person that's like, no, I don't need to learn the hard way because so many others have been through a similar situation. So let me hear them out and see how they dealt with it. Let me see how they maneuvered. So you're very wise, but you probably don't come off that way because you are so upbeat or positive or outgoing. So people assume that you're just like a party on wheels. But like I said, you just choose to learn from others instead of the hard way. You can easily spot wisdom. You know how to easily sift through another person's information and apply the things that are beneficial to you in your life. Another thing that I'm getting here, though, is that as open as you are with people, you're actually quite closed off, too. I don't know why I'm getting that all of a sudden, just sort of like washed in. I said earlier, you're like an open book. So because this is a general reading, I might be picking up on a percentage of you. It doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like a split. It feels like I'm picking up on 2 different sides of you, where one side of you is very outgoing and the other is very inquisitive and wants to learn. So it's like one side of you is very like, I do the talking, and the other side of you is like, I like to listen. There's a part of you that's very inquisitive, wants to learn, is eager to learn. And in order to be teachable, you have to know how to listen. So it's like there's these 2 sides of you, of your Jupiter energy, of your natal Jupiter energy anyways. It's like it produces these almost 2 different aspects of you. That's interesting. Let's go ahead and check out this card here to see how this Jupiter transit into Capricorn and what it will be bringing to your life, how this energy will be coming into your life. And we have here, look at that, you guys. That's crazy. The Lovers. That's crazy. Wow. Wow, this is crazy. The Lovers, the coming together or infusion of opposites. This is insane. I was just talking about how it felt like there was a split between you, your personality almost. And then we have the card, the Lovers here. The card about polar opposites coming together. That's incredible. Yeah, so this Jupiter transit into Capricorn is going to merge a lot of your opposites. In short, I believe what is going to happen over the course of 2020 for my pile 3s is you guys will merge further into yourself. The outgoing and the student, the ego self and the higher self coming together, the masculine and the feminine parts of you coming together. And what this will do is bring you into frame with your life's purpose. I feel like my pile threes have an important job dealing with the masses, dealing with other people, dealing with the public stage, because there's so much attraction coming off of this pile where it's just like, I'm just so drawn into your energy. And I feel like this is one of Jupiter's main gifts with my pile threes, is your ability to attract or seduce, whether that's through your personality, making people laugh, being charismatic, the way you look, the way you carry yourself, your confidence, your wisdom, your knowledge. There's something here that feels like a star in the making, but you just haven't answered that call yet. So maybe you haven't figured it out. Maybe you've been running from it, because that's the other end of the coin here. But if you know you have a gift with people, to make them see you and hear you and to have a visceral reaction to you, to laugh or cry or think, to engage them, then this Jupiter transit is just going to put you in alignment with that calling where you are supposed to be. Like I said, it was one of the first things I said about this pile here is you can engage people, and that is not an easy task. It is hard to keep people invested. You have to be able to know how to pique a person's interest, and that's a natural gift bestowed upon you, upon my pile threes, from Jupiter. So if you do anything on a public forum or have been wanting to or dreaming about it, Jupiter moving into Capricorn for you is going to bring you opportunities to solidify that reality, to birth this gift into the world, because this feels like you're such a big personality, and just maybe you haven't like tapped into it yet, but you will. You definitely will. Another thing as well is this also may be for those of you that aren't dealing with like a public stage or something like that. I'm just seeing you come more into your own, and because of that, you're going to be attracting, like I said, my pile threes, you guys are very attractive beings. You just have a very attractive nature where it's like people, things just get drawn into you. There's something that like is, I almost feel like a pull to these cards, and it's your energy that I'm being pulled into. But I feel like this is what the effect that you have on people. And so with you coming more into yourself, you're going to be drawing in a lot of people. You're going to be drawing in relationships. You're going to be drawing in friendships. You're going to be drawing in beneficial relationships and people that have knowledge that can assist you, that have advice that can assist you, that has emotional availability, mental availability, physical availability to be able to support you and help you in whatever way. This could be a relationship coming into your life as well. Okay, so let's go on ahead and check out you guys' oracle card here to see what else it is that is going on. And we have here, look at this. New beginnings. Let this magic in my spell clear the space in which I dwell. Wow. I'm done. I'm officially done. I'm telling you guys, my pile threes, if you have intuitively selected this pile, Jupiter moving into the sign of Capricorn is bringing you this abundant karma where you get to explore why you were born, why you were put here. This transit is going to align you perfectly to that cause or purpose. And the vibe I'm getting from this card is like, yeah, even though it's a new beginning for you, it's going to feel so familiar and normal. It's going to feel right for so many of you. When these opportunities come along, it'll feel as though someone or something has been secretly watching you and is sending you all of these opportunities to fulfill your own potential. This is an opportunity that is so fated and destined for you. That's why it's going to feel familiar, because it's going to be like, it's going to feel like something fell into your lap almost, because it's like, how did this thing fall into my lap? How did this thing know me so well? How did this thing know that this is one of my natural gifts or talents, or this is where I'm drawn to or interested in? How did this thing or this person or this opportunity know that about me? And it's not that it fell into your lap. It's just that you're in alignment. When you're in alignment, your path is clear. Every door is open. All the doors are open when you're in alignment. So you can just keep walking through the next door and the next door and the next door. That's what alignment is. There's no jagged edges. There's no curves. There's no roughness to it. It's just a straight pathway, clear, open road. So this is an opportunity for you to grow and expand even more, for you to come into your own even more. The opportunity I'm seeing here is you yourself becoming a brand possibly, or developing an image for my pile threes. I know I keep talking about like business and stuff, but that's what it feels like. It just feels like you becoming like a personality almost, or where your personality is brought more into the forefront and you get to make a living off of it, or you get to develop something off of it, you get to grow something off of it, you get to build off of it. It's like you get to build off of your personality. Your personality is what is opening these doors for you. You living your purpose is the most important thing here. And your purpose is to be you wholeheartedly, and you making a living off of that. That's what I'm definitely seeing for 2020 with my pile threes. This could also be a relationship, like I said, coming into your life. This could as well be, wow, just got that. This could as well be a baby. We also have the Three of Cups here. This could definitely be like a new life coming into your environment, coming into your life. So yeah, this could definitely be a baby, a child, a family, a new group of friends. But these people, this relationship, this new life respects you and appreciates you and can see you for you. This other party coming into your life can see your greatness, and they are going to really appreciate that and protect it. This is wild. So for me, this feels like Jupiter in Leo, Libra, Gemini, maybe Aquarius. And that could also mean Jupiter being in your 5th house, 7th, 3rd, or 11th houses. Yeah, so I'm going to go on ahead and shuffle some cards on camera to see if there is anything else that is coming through for your Jupiter energy. So let me go ahead and see here. My goodness, I'm sorry, you guys. I didn't even know that you couldn't see me shuffling. Let's see. Those are the 3 that came out so far, but I feel like there's one more, so give me a second. All right, and the cards that popped out is Patience, which is the card of Temperance. Solitude, which is the Hermit. Transformation, which is Death. The card Death. And look at that, you guys, spiritual union, just like the Lovers. So yeah, transformation, spiritual union. There's a lot that is there's a lot that's coming into you guys' life. A lot. And to be patient with it, because there's like a seed being sown for sure. I'm telling you guys, when this opportunity hits, when it does knock at your door, it's going to come in big. But solitude here, this is saying to spend some alone time. And the interesting thing is that she has a book. So for me, this feels like exercising. This feels like training. This feels like practicing. This feels like owning your craft. Owning your craft, whatever that may be, doing your research, knowing how to work different things. I'm telling you guys, you have a big transformation coming in, and I feel like what it is that is coming in, it really needs your focus and your attention to detail, and it needs you to be knowledgeable of this thing that is coming into your life. Even if this is a relationship, you need to be knowledgeable of yourself in order to make this relationship healthy, in order to make it the healthiest that it can be, in order to make it work. You need to be aware of yourself. You need to be knowledgeable if you are trying to build something from the ground up, if you're trying to start a company, if you're trying to start an image, a brand, a business, anything like that. If you're trying to branch out, if you're trying to make a dream happen, you need to be knowledgeable. Very, very important, because this transformation is coming. And by the time you transform, you really want to feel confident and comfortable enough to move forward with this transformation. Even if it's a relationship, you need to be able to be knowledgeable of who you are in your past and the journey it is that you have taken, so that the way when this new person, this new partner comes into your life, or this new life comes into your life, you feel like you have a lot of clarity. You feel like you know where it is that you've come from, so you know where it is that you're going. That's very important here, because transformation comes when the past merges with the present. That's transformation. But take patience with it, and spiritual union for sure. Yeah, for sure. And this is a 2 of Cups. But for sure there is a relationship, a child, a life, new beginnings, transformation. I mean, there's something definitely coming for my pile threes with this Jupiter into Capricorn transit. Okay, and under the deck, let me see. Under the deck, we have movement, choices, and decisions. So this is all about how are you moving? What choices and decisions are you making that is leading up to this transformation, or that is in alignment with this new beginning and this transformation, that is in alignment with this new life, with this new relationship. But you have to be knowledgeable of that. And you can only be knowledgeable of how it is that you're moving by being aware. And the only way to be aware is to be cognizant of the journey that you've taken thus far, and to be patient with that, okay? So this is all that I'm seeing for my pile threes. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I pray this reading brought you guys some love, support, clarity, and strength. I want to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self and spirit itself for delivering such a beautiful message today. Hopefully you all come back to visit me sometime soon. But until next time, you guys stay safe, stay blessed, keep conquering the world, and I'll be back next time, all right? Bye, guys. All right, in pile number 4, welcome to your reading. So we'll be starting off with this tarot card all the way over here to the left, and this card will be showing me the energy that your natal Jupiter has brought into your life. And this card all the way over here to the right will be showing me the energy that this Jupiter transiting into the sign of Capricorn will be bringing or manifesting into your life, okay? So let's go on ahead and start. And the card that we have here is the Nine of Cups. So my pile 4 is your natal Jupiter has come to show you self-love, self-worth, your own value, and how to say goodbye, how to feel peaceful and maintain your being at all times. So even when you are alone, you don't feel lonely or isolated. So even when you are sad, you don't feel hopeless. So even when you are still, you're not feeling stuck. Even when you are out of control, you don't feel powerless. Your natal Jupiter has come to teach you or show you self-contentment and self-control. My pile 4 is you guys may have not had the easiest time with relationships and people in your life. You may have not had the easiest time emotionally expressing yourself. You may have not had the easiest time emotionally expressing yourself or getting close to others. You may have even had a difficult time being emotionally available at certain points in your life. Jupiter has shown you boundaries, how to say no or yes, how to be true to yourself first and foremost. Like I said, he is, for my pile 4, is showing you self-control. He's come to show you how to feel at home in your own skin, not just at home, but amazing in your own skin. What your Jupiter has done is he's put you in this chamber almost that's away from everyone else, like a haunted house, right? So when you walk into that haunted house, what is it like in there? When we walk into a haunted, and I'm not talking about like a real haunted house. I mean like a haunted house is like an attraction at like an amusement park or something, like during like October in the Halloween season. But so, you know, when you walk into like a haunted house for Halloween season, what do you see in there? And like I said, I'm talking about a fake haunted house for entertainment. There's people dressed up in scary masks. The lights are dim, there's smoke machines all around, and you are surrounded by an environment that you know is completely fake, but it still may manage to scare you or make you scream or make you jump or startle you. So even though you know this is 100% fake, and I'm going to walk out of here in a few minutes, and the second that I leave from here, life is going to go back to normal, your natal Jupiter is just like that haunted house. He has set it up for you where you get to create the house or area or boundaries that you want. Everything outside of that perimeter is out of your control, but what is in your control is inside of that house. Are you going to make a house a haunted attraction or a spa or a villa or a getaway, an escape, a place of pain? It's all up to you. You get to pick the people inside, the masks they wear, the music that's playing. It is all up to you. And your natal Jupiter wanted to show you that you can exist outside of this boundary at all times, no matter what is on the outside or the outskirts of that perimeter. You can live in that haunted house, that house that you have built up to be whatever it is that you want it to be. You can live inside of that house while moving through the world, while moving through different situations, while moving through life, while experiencing different things. You get to maintain what is inside of that house. I say all the time that my home is my altar. An altar can be so much more than just a small space in a room. Your aura is your altar. Your home is your altar. Your body is your altar. What do you want that to look like? And it seems like Jupiter has shown you how to construct the house that you want to live in with this Nine of Cups. Because the Nine of Cups is depicted as a man, in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, is depicted as a man that is sitting surrounded by cups, and he's sitting by himself, but he's so happy. He's so happy, and it's just him. There's nothing else around. There's no people around, and there is nothing else around. There's no music. There's nothing to entertain him. He is just happy and content and peaceful within himself, in his own altar, in his own space, in his own aura, in his own house. That's his house, and inside that house, you only get to get in if he allows you in. It's an exclusive space. And that's what your Jupiter is trying to show you throughout life. All right. So let's go ahead and see how this Jupiter transiting into the sign of Capricorn, what that's going to mean for you. And we have here the Page of Swords. Yeah. So there's some more trimming of the fat that will be occurring for my pile 4s as Jupiter transits into Capricorn. There will be more you have to say goodbye to, as well as more to welcome in. This sword is able to cut your food to make it edible, as well as it's able to cut off your tongue so you can't eat, so you can't live. It's all up to you. This Jupiter, it's all up to you. It's all up to you what is in that house. It's all up to you what that sword does. This is very, like I said, this pile is all about self-control. You realizing what it is that you are in control of. This Jupiter in Capricorn is going to present you even more of your own personal power and even more of your own personal control. It's like you'll be very familiar with your solar plexus by the time 2020 comes to a close, because you're going to know how to wield this sword. You're going to learn the power that you have that can influence great changes, and you're going to learn to accept the responsibility that comes with holding such a powerful tool like this sword. And I see you being much more calculating and precise as to who and what gets to come into your haunted house or your altar space. It's amazing to me how so many of us take our altar space so serious. We take it so serious. People can't even touch it or even look at it. But when it comes to our heart or our mind, we're more reckless. We're less careful. Why? You are really going to be shown your worth and value in a way that you have never experienced before. We do this with very many things, with our cars, with our homes, with our money, with our cell phone. We do this with certain things with our clothes, with our makeup, with our hair, with how we look. We do this with so many external things, but when it comes to the internal, sometimes we can be so reckless or impulsive or just not as cautious. And it's like, why? Why are we less careful when it comes to us? You are really going to be shown your worth and value in a way that you've never experienced before. This will connect you to that judge, jury, executioner that you will have to become in order to maintain your altar. Too many people and too much has gotten away with stealing your peace, pile 4. And this was Jupiter's lesson to you from birth, was how to maintain your own space so people can't come in and do what they want to it. So people can't come into your house and fuck with anything in there. Would you allow somebody to come into your own home, your own space, your room? Would you allow somebody to walk in there and start throwing things around? No, you wouldn't. So why do we allow this to happen emotionally and mentally and physically? Why do we do that? When it is our job to protect our space, it's our job to protect our mind, our heart, our soul, our body. It's our job. But we can be so reckless with it. And it's the most important thing that we own. And this was Jupiter's lesson to you from birth. Because the 9 of Cups, like I said, is typically shown as a man seated behind a curtain in his own energy, and he's so happy and content. And this 9 of Cups comes directly after what? The 8 of Cups, where that man finally decides to walk away from whatever was stealing his peace. There is more that needs to go or be released or changed, but you are even more equipped now. You know how to do this in your sleep. You're going to know how to do this in your sleep. At least this Jupiter transit will make it easy for you to learn how to do this in your sleep, where you're like, nope, this has to go, that has to go, because this is not feeling right. This isn't feeling good. This isn't feeling conducive. This isn't feeling productive. This isn't feeling good or healthy. So why the hell am I going to waste my time? Time is so precious. It's invaluable. Time is. When it comes to time, our hearts, our minds, our spirits, and our bodies, those things are completely invaluable. There's no price tag on those things. They are priceless. And we need to start treating them as such. And that's what I'm saying here, that your Jupiter has really always been trying to teach you, to show you. So some of you may really have a very easy time with blocking out the things that just are nuances or nuisances. I think it's nuisances. Yeah, these things are like nuisances. They're annoyances. They're things that just get in your way, that interfere. Some of you are very, very good. My pile four, some of you are very, very good at blocking that out and saying no. Some of you are have a very cold exterior where you're able to do that and say, no, I don't care who you are. You could be my family. You could be a parent. You could be my spouse. You could be my child. If you are toxic, I have to put you in a place where you cannot affect me. I have to. It doesn't change the love. It doesn't change the connection. I'm just saying that I am more important. Because at the end of the day, you are. And that might be a little triggering to say that you're more important than your spouse, than your family, than your parents, than your children. But you are. That's why they tell you on a plane, if something is happening, for you to put your mask on first before you help the person beside you. Because if you don't get your mask on first, you might run out of oxygen, you might pass out, and then you can't help yourself or that person beside you. Now the both of you are screwed. You know what I mean? If you're not good, you can't help others. You can't be there for others, not in the way that you need to be. So let's go ahead and check out you guys' oracle cards here. And the very first one that we have is Glamour. Into this mirror, I now see the realms of possibility. Interesting. And a lot of purple going on, right? And healing. Candle flame burn this hour, bring to me your healing power. There's a lot of purple going on. And green. And this definitely feels like some heart chakra energy here, but this purple here, maybe it's your third eye or crown chakra. And it's interesting because the sword that she's holding is like touching her third eye chakra, and she's also pointing to the crown of her head. So it's very interesting. So yeah, let's go ahead and start with this glamour. You guys see this glamour? Glamour is all about what? It's all about aesthetics. It's all about vanity. What's painted on the outside to influence your perception of that thing or person. It sounds a lot like a haunted house, doesn't it? Where you paint it and dress it up like you want it to create the tone or atmosphere that you are trying to create. It says in this, I see the realms of possibility. This is you creating your own haunted house. The realms of possibility. What do you want to create in your house, in your altar, in your space, your own altar space? How do you want to dress it up? This transit will give you even more opportunities and even more control to construct your own personal space, because it's really all about, my pile fours, I feel that it's really all about for 2020, protecting your mind. Protecting your mind and your heart and mind, for sure. Yeah. And yeah. The third eye and the crown chakra deals with the mind and the heart. I said I was getting some heart chakra energy here, and this is green, the color of the heart chakra, and it says healing. So I really do feel like for 2020, for my pile fours, it's really going to be important for you guys or there's going to be a lot of focus on mental and emotional health. You protecting that, you encasing that in a way where nothing can get in unless you expressly permit it to come in. Unless you allow it, unless you give it access to you. That's what this 2020 is going to be all about for my pile fours. About you realizing that you are in control and that you need to set up your own space. And healing. The Nine of Cups is very healing, as is the Page of Swords in a way. The Nine of Cups, like I said, he comes directly after the Eight of Cups, where he had to part from something that stole his peace, his happiness, his joy, his Nine of Cups. He had to say goodbye in the Eight of Cups to get to this Nine of Cups. And the Page of Swords is like a curious student wanting to learn more, to know more, to seek more. But he has to sort of Eight of Cups walk away from the information and logics that brought him confusion so he can embrace a space of knowing and of comprehension. To know is to be comfortable. It's to feel more secure because we understand, but we have to part from confusion and discord in order to accept understanding. We do that by learning. You have learned so much about protecting your energy, your heart, your mind, your space, your home, your time. You've developed this greater sense of appreciation for yourself, and that has led you to healing a lot of confusion and pain. Of course, you are going to protect that with everything you have. You worked too damn hard to get here, my pile fours. I know you guys will be damned before you let anything or anyone come into your space, because you know what it's like to be without that space, and it's too priceless. It is too priceless to be in this space, this Nine of Cups space, where it's like, I'm just good with me. I'm just good right here in this moment, in the present. I'm just good being still, being awake, being aware, being mindful. I'm just good. I'm peaceful. That is a priceless thing that so many of us are searching for and cannot find, is a peace within ourselves, is a peace within the quiet, is a peace within the stillness. So many of us cannot find that. And we are doing everything else to find it, to locate it. We're doing everything else but consulting the internal. We're trying to find internal peace, but we're looking externally. So many of us are. And I feel that my pile fours have already caught on to that. Like, no, I got to go inside to find my peace. You know what it's like to be without that peace, and it's too priceless. So I'm seeing your healing as your protection because of how hard you've worked and everything that you've had to overcome to get here to this space of healing and acceptance. Okay, and so your Jupiter, your natal Jupiter may be in the sign of Aries, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. And that would be the 1st, 12th, 4th, and 8th houses. And it doesn't have to be in those signs for this reading to apply. That's just the energy that I'm feeling. All right, so I'm going to go on ahead and just shuffle a couple of cards on camera for you guys to see if there's anything else that I am picking up for your Jupiter energy. So give me a second. Let me go ahead and zoom out. Look at these two cards we got, you guys. We got disruption, which is the Tower. And then we got victory and success. Do you guys see that? After tearing down this home, this haunted house, you're going to come into a space where it's just 9 of Cups. You're just at peace with yourself, within this quiet space, within this stillness. That will bring your victory and success in. And let's see what's under the deck. Material harvest. Beautiful. Glamour. That must be what that glamour was talking about. Beautiful. All right, so this is all that I'm seeing for my pile fours. I'll leave you guys with the cards to interpret your own message for them, to divine your own message from them. So thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I pray this reading brought you guys some love, support, clarity, and strength. I want to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, and beautiful spirit itself for delivering such a beautiful, awesome message today. I pray that you guys come back to visit me sometime soon. But until next time, you guys stay safe, stay blessed, keep conquering the world, and I'll be back later, all right? Bye, guys. All right, and pile number 5, welcome to your reading. So we'll be starting off with this tarot card all the way over here to the left. And this card will be showing me the energy that your natal Jupiter has brought into your life or manifests in your life, the way it manifests in your life. And this card all the way over here to the right will be showing me the energy that this Jupiter transiting into the sign of Capricorn will be bringing into your life. So let's go on ahead and take a look. And the very first card that we have here is the 10 of Wands in reverse. Wow. Your Jupiter is all about freeing you. Wow. Your natal Jupiter has been through the ringer trying to liberate you of different holds, dependencies, attachments, cycles, traps. For some people, a cycle is just a cycle, but for my pile fives, your cycles, they almost feel like traps. I feel like he's taking a look backwards for some reason, your Jupiter, your natal Jupiter. I feel like he's looking backwards. So your Jupiter may have been retrograde at the time you were born, because it feels like he's looking backwards. He's reworking the past. He's undoing the past. I feel like he's trying to shine light on a situation. I feel like your Jupiter is very focused on what happened and working to rewrite that. It's like he's trying to shine a light on a situation or soften the blow of a painful experience. He's really working at freeing you of whatever has a hold on you. There's a dependency on something that Jupiter does not like at all. He can't stand that this thing has its clutches in you. He's doing everything he can to show you a way out, to show you that things can change, that the impossible can be achieved, that you are not defined by that moment or action or choice or attachment, that you are so much more than these 10 wands that you are carrying. because the Ten of Wands depicts a man struggling to carry 10 wands somewhere. He is slowly being consumed with every step by the weight of these wands. And so for a time, even though it's temporary, because eventually he sets those wands down, but for a time he is very attached to these wands. He has become these wands because that's all he can feel or see. All he can feel is the weight of them. All he can see is the steps that it's going to take until he reaches a place where he can set them down, where he can set that weight down. Everything in his body wants him to take a break, but he knows that there's no point because he wants to finish it out so he never has to pick them up again. Your natal Jupiter is trying to show you you don't have to carry the weight of the past or mistakes or regrets or another's actions or another's choices or traumas. Your natal Jupiter is trying to show you how to expand outside of this one situation or habit that seems to have manipulated you into thinking that you will never be free of it. Jupiter is trying to come through to say that's not true. You are so much more than this thing, than this weight. So do not allow these 10 wands to consume you. Do not give in to the pain. Do not give in to the long road ahead. Don't give in to the despair or feeling or thinking that all that exists is this weight, is these 10 wands. Jupiter has been trying to free you. So what I'm feeling with my pile fives here is your Jupiter could be in the sign of Scorpio, Cancer, Virgo, possibly Capricorn. And so that would be the 8th, 4th, 6th, and 10th houses. And your Jupiter doesn't necessarily have to be in these signs or in these houses, but that's just the energy that it feels like. If Jupiter was in one of these houses or in one of these signs, I feel like that would be the energy it is that I'm picking up on here. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out the energy that this Jupiter transit into the sign of Capricorn will be bringing into your life. And we have here the 7 of Pentacles. Yeah, you may be feeling like you're getting nowhere with this Jupiter and Capricorn transit, but that's because this is happening at a micro scale for you, pile 5. Before anything comes into being, it must be birthed in our energy field, in our energetic field. Then it becomes emotions, which are desires, and then it becomes mental focus. And after mental focus, we turn that mental focus into action. So the changes that you have started to make in your life, please do not get discouraged if you don't see the results of these changes just yet, because there's an entire process to go through. Like I said at the beginning of this reading, Jupiter is working really hard at revisiting something. That's because he's trying to undo what has been done. Much of your life, pile 5s, may feel like the quote, hindsight is 20/20. You may feel like you learn through experiences, and that's natural. Experience, pain, and the things that we can feel but cannot escape are the best teachers when it comes to life. These are the things that we really remember. You've learned a lot by making mistakes and by suffering. And now many of you are at a place in your life where you are trying to undo certain things. And this Capricorn transit will feel as though you are working and not getting anywhere. You're changing, but you can't see it. And because you can't see it, others don't believe it. Stay with the job. Stay with it. Because you know what ends up happening when you are actively working every day like this? Like what I'm seeing here, eventually the process completes. Eventually heaven cracks open. Eventually those changes manifest. Eventually you are reborn. Transformation is a process. And it doesn't show until the very last step, which is manifestation, materialization. But it doesn't mean that it's not happening just because you can't see it yet. It just means that you're traveling from point A to point B. It's going to take time and effort to redo what's been done, but it's not impossible. So don't lose your motivation or your drive. Stay committed and dedicated and focused. And if you feel like you are burning out, take a break and get your mind right, because so much of your fight, pile 5, has to do with the mind, staying mentally in it, staying mentally fortified. Because if you stop, the one thing that is for sure guaranteed is you never get there. But if you keep going, you are guaranteed to make it. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. And we have here grace. Grace, blessings come to me to set me free. I'm done. Done. I am done. Can you guys see this? It says, come to me to set me free. You are being set free. You're dropping the 10 wands. So much mercy is being given to my pile fives. And I believe Jupiter has brought in that gift of leniency to you. You are allowed to rewrite your story and to finally embrace the destiny that was always fated to you. But somehow you got sidetracked along the way. And that's okay because you're here. It doesn't matter how far you go in the opposite direction. If you want another chance, the universe is so merciful and understanding that it provides us that other chance because it understands the fact that we are humans and our job as evolved beings is not to just screw up, but to learn from it so we can grow from it. Because what is growth? It's evolution, it's transformation. It's coming into a different form. Screwing up isn't the sin. Screwing up isn't you going against yourself in nature. It's not learning from these lessons. That's the real sin. We get so caught up in the outcome, the final grade, that all we can focus on is that big fat red F on that test that says that we failed. We get all of these chances in life to work it out. You failed your test, so study harder for the next one. Get the right information so you can study the correct answers. We do the same thing with religion and spirituality. So many different religions are made up of stories. Just look at the Christian Bible. It's made up of stories from 40 different men that made up the canon of the Bible. And each one of these tales tells a story of maybe how they strayed, of maybe how they screwed up. But more importantly, it tells a story of their journey that they walked, of the path that they walked. It's not always necessarily this Disney Channel ending where it's like, oh wow, they ended up being so happy. No, there's a lot of books in religion, and especially in the Christian Bible, where it does not end happy. It does not end good, right? So it doesn't have this Disney Channel ending where it's like they figured it out. No, because we never do. We keep evolving. So if our job gives us chances, your job will give you like 3 different chances to be late, maybe sometimes more, before maybe they terminate you or something like that. Our justice system, which is highly flawed, runs off of the promise of innocent until proven guilty. The universe allots chance after chance after chance. Even video games do. But when it comes to us, we judge ourselves so much. Even school, education gives you a chance. You fail that test, that's all right. You can fail a class and you still might not fail your entire education. Your entire educational career is not doomed because you failed one test or one class. You have multiple chances to rewrite that, to fix that, to do better, right? But when it comes to us, we judge ourselves so much that one experience or mistake has held so many of us back. Why don't you see yourself as worthy enough for another chance? Because you are. You owe it to whoever or whatever you feel you did wrong to pick yourself the hell up and to do better. Maybe somebody did you wrong. Pick yourself up. It's that simple. Do better. Grace, that is real grace. That is true grace. Grace is not about just being like a swan, just being graceful every single step of the way, just being this effortless, graceful character. It's about learning how to move so you come across as graceful, so you appear graceful, but you're definitely being set free. So let me go on ahead and shuffle the cards here to see if there's any other information coming through from your Jupiter, from my pile 5. So I'm going to go on ahead and zoom out so you guys can see the shuffle. So give me a second. All right. So we have here the waiting game. Yep. Like I was telling you guys, please don't give up. Please do not give up. It's a process, the waiting game. It's a process. Don't give up. You see, it's the roots. There's roots down here and it's blossoming into something. Do not give up, pile 5. This is confirmation. Don't give up. Look at this. Material and spiritual prosperity. Please don't give up. I'm begging you. Please do not give up. Material and spiritual prosperity. Do not give up. And spiritual union. So some of you may have been hurt by some relationships or some people in your life, but there's someone coming into your life that is going to mean nothing but good things to you and for you. That's going to want nothing but the absolute best for you. genuinely want the best for you, not just say, hey, I want the best for you. A lot of us say that we want the best for something. A lot of us say that we love something, and that's not necessarily the case, but this is true, genuine love, genuine attachment, and not in a bad way, not in a dependent way, but a genuine, like, I just vibrate with your being, with your soul. And under the deck here, the sacral chakra. So yeah, so do some work on your emotional well-being. That's what the sacral chakra really focuses on in a very general sense. But the sacral chakra, which is a chakra that's right near your belly button, and it's above the root chakra. It's the second chakra, and it's the one that's orange. So do some work on the sacral chakra, repairing it, healing it, tuning it, aligning it. So this is all that I'm seeing for my pile fives. I'm just going to leave you guys with the cards. I normally don't do that in my pick a card readings. I normally just do this in my new and full moon videos, but it feels really appropriate for this particular reading. So I'm going to leave you guys with the cards to divine your own messages for your own natal Jupiter and this Jupiter transit. But thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I pray this reading brought you guys some love, support, clarity, and strength. I want to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, and beautiful spirit itself for delivering such an awesome message today. Hopefully you all come back to visit me sometime soon, but until next time, you guys stay safe, stay blessed, keep conquering the world, and I'll be back later. All right, bye guys. All right, and pile number 6, welcome to your reading. So we'll be starting off with this tarot card all the way over here to the left. This card will be showing me the energy that your natal Jupiter produces in your life and how it manifests in your life. And this card all the way over here to the right will be showing me the energy produced with this Jupiter transit into the sign of Capricorn and how that may manifest in your life. So let's go ahead and get started. And the very first card that we have here is the Ace of Swords in reverse. Okay, so there's something really shaky here. Pile 6. Right away, you feel like a Jupiter in Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. And that's the 2nd, 6th, 10th, 3rd, 11th, or 7th houses. Because you are so practical. Your natal Jupiter has come to show you in your life that logic or science or practicality isn't always fact. Fact is, at the end of the day, just theory. Something that we say is factual is for sure the truth, stems from a theory, right? So, Jupiter is challenging you to believe in something that you cannot prove. And that's what your natal Jupiter is all about. You want answers, but Jupiter gives you more questions. You're looking for a line in the sand, and Jupiter shows up with more bags of sand to just throw around. You want clarity, and Jupiter's like, have faith. There may be a little disconnect between you and Jupiter here because you have a hard time just accepting or believing in whatever just doesn't make sense or whatever doesn't have all of their T's crossed and I's dotted. And it's not like that's an abnormal thing, right? But Jupiter is trying to break it down for you that there's so much I can't tell you or explain to you, but will you please just trust me? That is Jupiter's sort of invitation to you. That is Jupiter's sort of like love letter to you. Jupiter is holding out his hand, but you're like rattling off 1,000 questions before you make a decision to accept or deny his hand. Your natal Jupiter is trying to get you to explore. He doesn't want to oppress your skeptical mind. He wants to actually engage it and to use it and to apply it to the gifts that he's trying to give you. He's trying to give you the gift of greater understanding because your mind is very able to ingest or soak up a lot. And with the critical thinking that you are used to applying in certain areas of your life, he is trying to expand what you already know. So you may be someone that's sort of rebellious in nature a little bit, or a bit radical in thinking. Maybe you challenge things, maybe you ask questions, but that's because you've been blessed with the ability to see things that others don't, or that others are too afraid to see. You have the ability to conceptualize things that others can't, whether out of fear or because they just simply can't see it. They're not cognizant of it. So Jupiter wants to implant your being and mind with completely fresh new knowledge, spiritual knowledge, science, arithmetic, art, wisdom, faith, quantum physics, divine intelligence. He's trying to throw you a bone of something that seems really far-fetched, but it's honestly right up your alley all at the same time. So you may from time to time in your life come across certain articles, information, books, lessons, theories, theories that you can easily understand. You have this ability to almost decode things very easily. You understand and see and perceive so differently from everyone else. And this is what Jupiter wants to expand even greater. So he's trying to get you to sort of follow this like breadcrumb trail. But you are just so like practical. Like, I'm not even going to go down that route or that avenue because it's like, it just doesn't make sense. So what's the use of me like wasting my time or my energy, my mind? What's the point if it doesn't make sense, you know? But Jupiter is trying to lead you to something that makes sense. But that first step is going to need to be a step of faith. And this goes for the way that you think, as well as this also ties into your life. So this isn't just like your brain, how you use your brain, how you think, how you use your mind, how you communicate. This also ties into your life as well, okay? So let's go ahead and check out the energy that this Jupiter transiting into the sign of Capricorn will bring into your life in the year 2020. And we have here the Knight of Swords. Yeah, seriously, yeah. So this Jupiter into Capricorn transit is going to bring facts to match those theories and books and other education or topics that you are entrenched in. Or those interests that you find yourself drawn to. It's going to bring truths. Some of them may have to do with your relationships, with your finances, with your life, with your habits, with your career, as well as with learning, with education. Some of you may be going back to school. You may be engaging in a part of your history that you never knew before, seeking more answers. This year, 2020, for my pile 6, will bring so much more stability into the things that you already knew or suspected or suggested or anticipated. This transit will provide the solid ground or proof you need to move forward in one area or another of your life. This is going to reconnect back to that inquisitive mindset that you have, that curious nature where you will be more open to exploring these theories or feelings or desires or interests, where at first you were more closed off. Ace of Swords, you're more closed off to this at first. And I just feel like my pile 6 were very knowledgeable coming into this life. You may have been called an old soul, or had a very easy time in school, or had a lot of wisdom from a young age. You're the type of person to fully understand something but not have any prior teaching or training. This is that gift given to you by Jupiter, where you started out with a very good basic comprehension of life, or something in your life, or an aspect of life. Or maybe something like business or relationships. You started off with some sort of knowledge. Like, for instance, business, you may have always had a business savvy mindset. You may already know how to conduct yourself or to move in the business world. This is your natural talent that you're coming back into contact with. It's going to feel so familiar, but you are going to be re-encountering this natural talent or skill that you've always had. And so you're really going to be exercising this talent. This Jupiter transit is going to have you go from naturally gifted in this one thing to having damn near mastered it, basically, by the end of 2020. Whether this is business, art, music, dancing, acting, designing, fulfilling whatever dream you have, you're going to come into contact with this natural talent that is the key to making this dream a reality, which is really awesome. Just stay open to whatever information Jupiter tries to bring your way. I believe you are much more open to it now at this point in your life than before with this Ace of Swords in reverse. So this is the perfect time for you to engage with this dream or this talent again, or this interest, or this person or this relationship, whatever it is that really kind of has your eye, your attention. Okay, let's go ahead and check out your oracle card here. Wow, look at this. Divine guidance. Whispers from the beings who shine. Let their message be clear and kind. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. I guess I am officially done today. These cards are so telling. Yes, you are being guided by Jupiter. So divinely guided by his gifts that he's given you. Like I said, he's trying to leave like this trail, this breadcrumb trail for you to sort of follow him to this greater understanding, divine guidance. That's exactly what he's doing. You're being guided by Jupiter. Very divinely guided by his gifts that he's given you. You've been pretty connected to this. I believe many of you have. And so the fact that this is coming back into your life in a different way is very telling, because this is you engaging with your natural gifts. These gifts make up your passion, and your passion leads you to fulfilling your purpose, because your passion gives you purpose. It gives you momentum. It gives you drive. It gives you determination and motivation. Jupiter is your light to guide you to this place where you go after your dreams or pursue your passion. And the crazy thing is, it's all fated. This was written in the stars for things to happen this way. So if you tried it, this passion before, or this dream or this gift before, but it didn't work out, it is coming back, but it'll be different, and you'll be very different. And I actually talked about this. I'll link it down below. I actually talked about this. This was an energy that I was picking up for the full moon in Gemini when I was taking a look at Jupiter, I believe. So I'll link that down below if you guys are interested in checking that video out, because I talked a lot about this energy, but it's interesting that it's coming up here again for my pile sixes. So this is telling me that 2020 for you is going to be very transformative, because you're going to be transformed, and this old opportunity is going to be basically transformed, and you're going to meet again. You two are going to meet again. This is a completely new environment, one that you are ready and prepared for. You are ready for your destiny to meet you again, because that's what's happening. Your fate is coming right up to your front door again, but it's different, and you are different. Be honest about what you want, and do not hesitate, because this Knight of Swords, he doesn't hesitate for a second. Once he mentally connects to his passion, it's all over from there. From there, he charges with everything in him. That's what 2020 will feel like for you in terms of this Jupiter transit, which is beautiful. So let me go on ahead and shuffle some cards. My camera battery's dying here. So let me go on ahead and shuffle some cards for my pile sixes to see if there's anything else that your Jupiter wants to say to you guys. So give me a second here. Yeah, I felt like there was one more. Okay. And we have here positive movement forward. Beautiful. What did I say? Beautiful. I'm so excited for you guys. Movement, choices, decisions. Movement, choices, decisions. Again, more movement. Disruption. You guys, disruption. This is telling me, because we have two cards here talking about movement, and then we have one talking about disruption, and this is actually the Tower card. So what this is saying to me is that you have to really drop what it is that you think you know. You have to really drop what it is that you've kind of committed to, and that you have kind of said, like, no, this is what it is. You have to really drop that in order for Jupiter to be able to come in to guide you. To be guided, you have to allow something to guide you, okay? And that disruption here could be you sort of having an ego death, you sort of breaking away from the things it is that you thought you knew, you sort of breaking away from the things it is that you said was fact, okay? Because like I said, he's trying to lead you to greater understanding. And the card under the deck is moving on. Movement, 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 you guys. Yeah. So don't let this disruption like scare you or anything, because there's going to be a lot of movement. And I think the disruption is coming from all of this movement, all of this change, where it's like your eyes are going to be opened so wide in 2020. And that's what's going to be your blessing. That's what's going to be your divine blessing that Jupiter is giving you here. Yeah, this is all that I'm seeing for my pile sixes. So I'm going to leave you guys with the cards that sort of divine, come up with your own messages from them. Normally I only do this in my new and full moon videos, but it feels very appropriate to do this for this particular reading. But thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I pray that this reading brought you guys some love, support, clarity, and strength. I want to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, beautiful spirit itself, for delivering this beautiful message today. Hopefully you all come back to visit me sometime soon, but until next time, you guys stay safe, stay blessed, keep conquering the world, and I'll be back later. All right, bye guys.